It felt so good to be a women's wrestling fan this past weekend. Hello guys, one more time, welcome to Ring Royalty. My name is Alexis, as you already know, and today I am bringing you a 2-for-1 special. Why? Because I'm not only going to review WWE's Money in the Bank, but also I'm going to talk about Slammiversary, the Impact pay-per-view that happened on Saturday. Overall, we have 5 women's matches this past weekend, and I'm going to give you my opinion about each of them. Before starting with the video, I just wanted to point out how much I've missed crowds. They definitely changed the whole atmosphere of each and every match, and I'm going to talk about that more in detail as the video progresses. So, without any further to say, let's start. First, we have Impact's pay-per-view Slammiversary on Saturday night. And the first women's match that they got was on the pre-show, and it was the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. Flair and Flava defended the championships against Decay, Rosemary, and Havoc. I feel delighted that Havoc is finally part of Decay. Her dynamic with Rosemary is awesome. They complement each other very well, and I feel like they can go far as a team. The dynamic of this match was pretty simple. It was the power of the challengers against the speed of the champions. 4 ladies in the ring had a lot of chemistry together. It was so great, and although it was a pre-show match, the crowd was so into it. It was clear that they were excited just to be live and watching matches, so they didn't care if it was on the pre-show or on the main show, which is something super positive because the fans added a lot to this match. You could feel the excitement in the atmosphere, and that's what wrestling is all about. These past few months, I fell in love with Fire and Flava. They are just cocky, overconfident, and ratchet champions. They were messing with Rosemary and Havoc every chance they got, making them pissed off by twerking. That's their thing, and they were doing it really well. It was so good, it added to their characters and it made sense. The match didn't have any OMG spot. Despite that, it was still very entertaining. I feel the only spot that I can recall was very risky, or that could pop in my mind right away, is when Tasha Steelz did a springboard crossbody to the outside, knocking down Rosemary and Crazy Steve. But other than that, the match was just amusing without the necessity of having OMG spots. Something that is worth mentioning is the fact that Havoc has lost a lot of momentum ever since she was teaming up with Nivea. But in this match, the monster that was inside of her came out again, and I love her for it. The dominant Havoc is back, and she showed just how much of a powerhouse she can be when she did a tombstone pile driver on Kiera Hogan for the 1, 2, 3, and Decay became the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Well deserved. It's been years since Rosemary or Havoc have won a championship in Impact, so it was so refreshing to see that. Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz did a very good job as well. They're definitely the face of the Knockouts Tag Team division, but they are already 2-time champs, so I am not mad at all that Havoc and Rosemary won. The match got holy shit chance because everybody was so invested on it. So to sum up, it was a very strong match for a pre-show, and I am really looking forward to see what's gonna happen next in the Knockouts Tag Team division. I'm pretty sure that Fire and Flava are going to get a rematch down the line, and I am not mad with that either because it is probably going to be another banger. So happy for the Knockouts right now. When it comes to the main show, we started with Brian Myers along with Tennille Dashwood against Matt Cardona and a mystery partner. I think it was pretty obvious who the mystery partner was going to be, but nonetheless we were really happy to see hot mess Chelsea Green back. She's back in Impact, and now with this split personality character that I love so much, because that's half Chelsea and half Laurel. And that's what we stand. Their fans were cheering, it was such a nice moment. And also, before talking about the match itself, it's necessary to address the background of it, because we have Matt Cardona teaming up with his current fiancée, Chelsea Green, against his ex-girlfriend Tennille and his ex-best friend Brian. And even commentary brought it up because they wanted us to be aware of what was the relationship or what was going on or what went on between all of the members of this match. I mean, it was quite nice. I don't think that's ever happened before, like to see 4 people that were related to each other in that sort of way. But maybe I'm going off topic, so let's go back to the match. In this match, Tennille Dashwood can be summed up as a sneaky hoe, and I love her for it. I mean, no offense to Tennille, but that's her character. She's a coward heel that prefers to stab you in the back instead of fighting you face to face, and I respect that because that's what a heel's all about. Now, in the early going, Myers was just beating the hell out of Cardona, and even Tennille and Caleb with Decay took a selfie with a beating down Cardona. That was hilarious. But the sole purpose of these first few minutes of the match was so Chelsea could get the hot tag, and she did. I'm not sure if the cast that she has on her arm is a legit injury or is just kayfabe, but it didn't really affect the outcome of the match because Chelsea Green was tearing the house down. The spot that stood out the most for everyone was definitely Chelsea hitting the Canadian Destroyer on Brian Myers. That was such a spectacular spot. It was done perfectly, and also I really enjoyed the low blow spot in the last few minutes of the match. The Impact prior to Slammiversary, Tennille low blowed Matt Cardona, setting up this mixed tag match. So she tried to do it again, but Cardona had a protector there, which ended up in Brian Myers' face. I mean, nasty. And Chelsea Green then low blowed Tennille with her cast, followed up by an unprettier for the 1, 2, 3. Chelsea and Matt Cardona win the mixed tag team match. Enjoyable match. The hype of having Chelsea back definitely added to this match. I mean, the crowd was so into her from the get-go, and it also gave an opportunity to have 2 more ladies in the Slammiversary card. This definitely felt like a last-minute match, but I feel like they definitely tried to get a spot in the card for Chelsea, and that's the only way that they managed to do it, and they definitely didn't disappoint with this match. It wasn't the best match ever, but at the same time, it was really good for what it was. I am not sure if Chelsea is actually staying in the Knockouts division, as she was presented by Maria Kanellis as the newest acquisition for the ROH women's division, but we will see what happens. Definitely so nice to have a third match in the card for women and that they both got a great showing. This moment will definitely stick out in Chelsea's career, and hopefully she stays in the Knockouts division. Fingers crossed. The third and last match in Slammiversary was the one that Impact hyped the most, and it was Deonna Purrazzo defending the Knockouts Championship against a mystery opponent. There were many different names that were brought to the table. Everybody was curious, is it going to be Chelsea Green? Is it going to be Ruby Riott? Is it going to be Billie Kay or Peyton Royce? Maybe Mickie James? But the surprise was that it was actually Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is a workhorse. She has been in every promotion I've seen: NWA, AEW, Stardom, now she's in Impact. I mean, she's an unbelievable worker, and it was such a pleasant surprise to see her challenging Deonna. Both of them are really good in the ring, so the chemistry was obviously going to be there, and they didn't disappoint at all. You know how I love surprises because most of wrestling nowadays is very predictable, but Thunder Rosa was definitely not rumored at all, and that's what made her so special, at least in my view. Now, before talking about the match itself, we have Thunder Rosa, who I've mentioned has been a workhorse and everything, but on the other side we have the virtuoso Deonna Purrazzo. Before the match, they showed a video package where they show how Purrazzo has defeated absolutely everyone that has stepped her way, from former knockouts as ODB, Jazz, and Taya Valkyrie to current knockouts like Rosemary, Havoc, and Tennille Dashwood. So she was this unstoppable force that maybe Thunder Rosa could actually figure out and take the title away from her. Such a grueling match. I love the spot where Thunder Rosa did a double diving foot stomp on Deonna Purrazzo's back. It looked brutal, and it looked like she might take the championship away from Deonna, but it was only a 2 count. Both of them put their large movesets on display in this match. They had enough opportunities to give the fans some new maneuvers as well as their signature ones. Purrazzo was trying to put away Thunder Rosa, locking in the Fujiwara armbar in many different occasions throughout the match. I mean, the champion was getting really frustrated. She wanted to rip Thunder Rosa's arm off. It was a pretty lengthy match, over 12 minutes, and despite Thunder Rosa looking like she could actually win the championship in a couple of occasions after many different maneuvers, Purrazzo ended the match with the Queen's Gambit to get the pinfall on Thunder Rosa. I mean, low-key we knew Thunder Rosa was not going to win as she is not an official member of the Knockouts division, but then again, Kenny Omega is the Impact champion despite being an AEW superstar, so I mean, you never know. Kudos to both ladies. This match is definitely my top 5 favorite women's matches of the year so far. They really did a great job, and it was so fresh to see them face off. I am not sure if they have faced off in the indies, but I've never seen these two in the ring together, so for me it was the first time and it was worth it. But that's not all. We already got Chelsea Green returning, Thunder Rosa's arrival, and that was not it, because right when Purrazzo was ready to celebrate her title defense, Hardcore Country happened. Mickie James returned to Impact Wrestling after over five years of not being in the promotion, and she decided to invite Purrazzo to the NWO Empower all-women's pay-per-view that she's producing. But Deonna, being the bitter bitch that she is, told Mickie James to shut the hell up, not interrupt her, and take her trash bag with her things and get the hell out of her ring. Such a great line. I'm pretty sure this has to be one of the best promos that Deonna Purrazzo has cut in a while. Mickie felt disrespected, obviously, and she slapped and then kicked Deonna Purrazzo right in the head, making the champion go out of the ring in retrieve. Now the question here is Mickie James next in line for the Knockouts Championship? Are we going to see the Virtuosa against Hardcore Country? Is Mickie now a member of the Knockouts division? Is this match going to be one of the best matches of all time? A lot of questions, but not many answers. So to get the answers, we're probably going to have to wait and see what Impact has in store for us after everything that Mickie has gone through this past year, being released, the trash bag incident, then speaking up about WWE not wanting females to succeed or saying they're not ready to be the best sellers in the company, all the way to producing an all-women's pay-per-view in NWA and now having this interaction with the Knockouts champion. I just hope that Impact doesn't wait this opportunity to have Mickie against Deonna. I am sure they won't. Fans definitely added a lot to this whole pay-per-view, and Impact tore the house down at Slammiversary. Many returns, many great matches, everything was just great. There is nothing that I can say bad about this pay-per-view. I was really amused by it. So the only thing that is left to do for all of us is just wait and see what Impact has in store for us in the next couple weeks. As far as WWE goes, on Sunday's Money in the Bank we only got 2 women's matches. Side note, it was so unfortunate that Bayley got injured while training and she couldn't compete in the I Quit match against Bianca Belair. That seemed to be the end of the rivalry finally, but it also would have been a great match for the card. So sad it couldn't happen. But back to the actual pay-per-view, the first match that we got was the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. From Raw, we have Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Naomi, and Nikki Cross, or Nikki Ash, cause why not? And from SmackDown, we have Zelina Vega, Liv Morgan, and the Women's Tag Team Champions, Tamina and Natalya. Why are the Women's Tag Team Champions in the Money in the Bank ladder match? I don't know. Well, actually I do know, and it's because SmackDown barely have any women. And that's all because of Vince McMahon, because of the releases, because of the bad booking. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm not going to lie, my favorites to win were definitely Naomi or Liv Morgan. They were the ones that deserved it the most, and not only that, but they needed it the most as well. And from the crowd's reaction, they were actually 2 of the fan favorites along with Alexa Bliss. Like every year, the Money in the Bank ladder match is very spotty, so let's talk about spots. Alexa Bliss's shenanigans stole the show. From trying to grab the briefcase with some sort of magical powers, to her mind control spot with Zelina Vega, making her go down the ladder, as well as doing this terrifying spider walk against Liv Morgan, who was trapped in the corner, and when she was gargling on the ropes. I mean, Alexa Bliss is just such a good character that it's impossible to deny that she is going to be champion sooner rather than later. But I don't think winning the Money in the Bank briefcase was the right path for her, and I am glad that WWE didn't ruin her character by making her miss Money in the Bank as well. Another spot was Nikki Ash's diving crossbody from a ladder outside the ring to all the other participants. It was nice. I mean, nothing really out of this world, but it still worked. It was very nice, giving her this superhero or almost a superhero personality so she could fly. It works, right? It makes sense, I guess. Another moment that I really enjoyed was when Asuka and Liv Morgan were choking Tamina against the ladder. It looked vicious. Naomi had a couple nice spots here and there, especially with Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega when she powerbombed Liv on top of Zelina, who was lying on the ladder. And then when she power slammed Nikki Ash against the ladder, and did a split on top of her. Mickie was screaming in pain and we were here for it. Natalya's duty in this match was definitely taking women off ladders. She was the one blocking everyone's opportunities. I think Tamina did that too, even commentary mentioned that. Maybe that was the purpose of adding them to the match, so they did what they were supposed to do. Moving to the final 2 minutes of the match, Alexa Bliss was dominating until Tamina and Natalya took care of business, attacked her with a ladder, and along with the rest of the participants in the match, all of them buried Alexa under many different ladders because she was probably the biggest threat in the match. After that, Alexa was out of the equation, so the other participants were trying to grab the briefcase. We have 6 women fighting on top of 3 ladders, and out of nowhere, Nikki Ash just comes up one of the ladders and unhooks the briefcase, with the rest of the women there doing absolutely nothing to stop her. I mean, at some point, if you look closely, you could tell that Asuka, and I believe it was Selena Vega as well, weren't even getting hit or anything, and they were looking at Nikki Cross, faking that they couldn't reach her. I mean, this was definitely not the best ending for the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then again, that's what Nikki Ash's character is all about. She's not really this dominant competitor. She just takes advantage of the opportunities and just gets random pinfalls, or in this case, a way to unhook the briefcase when everybody else is distracted or something. So I'm so mad that Liv Morgan didn't get the briefcase. You could tell that the crowd wanted her to win. Hopefully she would still get a push and it won't be dropped like last time she was in a singles run. And Nikki Ash is the Miss Money in the Bank 2021. This match was okay, but it wasn't it. You know what I mean? It wasn't it. It was just a standard match. I mean, this is definitely not the best Women's Money in the Bank ladder match that we have seen. Probably because of the lack of star power. I mean, besides Alexa, maybe the rest of the women there didn't have any momentum going into this match, besides probably Liv Morgan. So, I mean, it wasn't something special, but it happened. I have to admit, I'm a bit curious to see where Nikki's character is going now that she's Miss Money in the Bank. Who is she going to target? And what's going to happen with certain participants such as Naomi and Liv Morgan, who actually needed the briefcase to become relevant again. So we will see where all of this goes, but it is what it is. The last women's match of the night was Rhea Ripley against Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. This match was really entertaining. The crowd was chanting Becky, Becky, and Charlotte Flair flipped them off. It was such a monumental moment, the crowd erupted. It was a very, very tough match. Like I mentioned in my Hell in a Cell review, if you haven't seen it, it is over here. They're always going to deliver independently if the storyline going into the match is good or not. Now, let's mention some spots that made this match special. Rhea Ripley's evasion of the chop block into a double foot stomp. Great moment, such a great moment. Then she displayed all of her power in that very weird transition of moves into a suplex. Rhea Ripley is so freakishly strong, and she's my age. She's 24. I feel like nothing compared to her. I mean, really. Charlotte using her signature moonsault to the outside got crowd popping again. I mean, I know it is a regular move by now, but it is still so nice to see. Also, the counter from the Riptide into a DDT by Charlotte Flair looked like the end of the match. The DDT was vicious. Charlotte Flair couldn't get the job done, and she was looking even more frustrated than these past couple weeks. This frustration inside her character is making Charlotte so much more interesting than she has been in the past couple years. I don't know what it is, but it is working. Then we got the awesome top row natural selection with Rhea sold perfectly, and it couldn't get the 3 count. Charlotte Flair was about to rip her own head off after this moment. Rhea Ripley was still going strong. She got a couple moves here and there as well. Big boots, clotheslines. But by the end of the match, she was just there completely defenseless. Her leg was hurt as well because Charlotte was working on it. The final seconds of the match were fire. After not being able to put away Rhea with the top row natural selection, she took Rhea to the outside, at least her leg, trapped it into the steel steps and destroyed Rhea's leg to be able to go back inside, lock in the figure 8 and defeat Rhea Ripley to become an 14-time women's champion. Charlotte Flair won the Raw Women's Championship for the 5th time in her career and the first time in over 4 years. I saw that a lot of people were really mad, but I'm not. I feel like this is the best version of Charlotte that we've gotten in a while. So, I mean, I am not mad that she's the champion. Rhea's title reign was pretty lackluster. I mean, it is surprising to me that Rhea's title reign was even worse than Asuka's, because I mean, we thought that she was the worst Raw Women's Champion ever. In newsflash, Rhea is now. She couldn't do absolutely anything while being the champion, and it might be related to the fact that Rhea Ripley was probably a last-minute replacement for the WrestleMania match. It wasn't the original plan, so she was just a placeholder. Just like I mentioned with Deonna and Thunder Rosa, this has to be one of my favorite matches of the year as well. The quality of the match was great. Maybe some people were already bored of seeing Rhea against Charlotte, but that doesn't take away anything from the match quality. It was really good. The crowd was really disrespectful towards Charlotte and Rhea. They were beating the hell out of each other and they were chanting Becky, Becky. But by the end of the match, they were chanting this is awesome. So the fact that these two ladies could turn the crowd to their side and change the Becky chants to this is awesome chants means that this match actually ruled. A lot of people say maybe the wrong winner, but I mean, it is what it is. Charlotte Flair is once again at the top of the mountain and we will see who's her next challenger. Not mad at all, and don't come for me if you really wanted Rhea to continue her championship reign. There's nothing that we can do now. So, all hail the queen. Woo! Don't kill me, please. Alright, so this was my review for WWE's Money in the Bank and Impact Slammiversary. I don't know if you noticed this, but I have Natalia over here with a briefcase because I used to collect these things. I mean, I know they are outdated now because I am not collecting the figures anymore, but I mean, I hope you appreciate the effort. Tell me down in the comments what was your favorite match of this past weekend. If you haven't watched Slammiversary, because I know a lot of you are WWE fans but don't really watch other promotions, go and do it because it was an awesome show. Also, let me know in the comments what do you think is gonna happen with Nikki Ash. Will she cash in successfully or not? I want to thank you for your support. We're more than 800 now. It's just unbelievable. And this is going to be my final video of the month because I'm going to be traveling to Florida for 2 weeks. I'm finally gonna travel. If you want me to do a video blog, let me know in the comments down below as well. My name is Alexis, as you already know. Here is my Instagram as always, and I will see you guys next time with a new video. Stay safe. Goodbye.